Tributes are being paid to former US Secretary of State Colin Powell, who has died overnight of complications from COVID-19. Barbara Miller is in our Washington bureau for us this morning. Barbara, good morning. Colin Powell had such a great career. He was the top military advisor, the first African-American Secretary of State. He served under 3 presidents.
That's right. Really an incredible career to rise to those positions. As you say, under George H.W. Bush, he was chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, that is the top U.S. general. Then under George H.W.'s son, George W., he took on the role of Secretary of State. Really incredible. And as you said, the first black American to hold those positions. But actually what many people, at least internationally, will remember Colin Powell for is that now infamous address he made to the United Nations. That was in 2003, and he really made the case for military action in Iraq. He came to the UN armed with props, with diagrams, with a vial of anthrax, and he said that the evidence was irrefutable that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. He galvanized support for military action. It began weeks later, but in the coming years he would have to admit that that assessment was based on faulty intelligence and, in his words, was a blot on his reputation. Today, people are acknowledging that by saying that he was a man who was prepared to admit that he had made mistakes. But above all today, I guess, a day of sorrow. The flag on the White House behind me is at half-mast. And many people are remarking on how Colin Powell's life was really the embodiment of the American dream, among them President Joe Biden.
This is a guy born son of immigrants in New York City, raised in Harlem in the South Bronx, graduated from City College in New York. And he rose to the highest ranks not only in the military, but also in areas of foreign policy and statecraft.
Now, he wasn't easy to pigeonhole politically. He was a Republican, but he, in a sense, broke ranks to endorse Barack Obama for president. He also endorsed Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden when they were Democratic candidates. And then he remained an active voice in the political arena. This year, he was very critical of Republicans who he thought had failed to speak out against President Trump after the January 6th attack on the Capitol. He said he could no longer call himself a fellow Republican. For his family, who of course have released a statement, he was a remarkable and loving husband, grandfather and father, they said. And they said, Michael, he was a great American.
Barbara Miller in Washington, thank you.